Gospel lesson today is from the Gospel of John. We are in chapter 13, verses 31 through 35. And when he was gone, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man is glorified, and God is glorified in him. And if God is glorified in him, God will glorify the Son in himself, and will glorify him at once. My children, I will be with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and just as I told the Jews, so I tell you now, where I am going, you cannot come. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." This is the reading of the word of our Lord.
Thanks be to God.
You may be seated. A store owner was tacking a sign above his door that read, "Puppies for sale." Well, soon a little boy appeared at the door and asked, "How much are you going to sell them puppies for?" And the store owner replied, "Well, from $30 to $50. And the little boy reached into his pocket and pulled out some change. "I have $2.37. Can I look at them?" The store owner smiled and whistled. And out of the kennel came his dog named Lady, running down the aisle of his store, followed by 5 little puppies. One puppy was lagging considerably behind. Immediately, the little boy singled out the lagging, limping puppy, and he asked, "What's wrong with that little dog?" And the man explained that when the puppy was born, the vet said that this puppy had a bad hip socket and would limp for the rest of his life. The little boy got really excited and said, "That's the puppy I want to buy." And the man replied, "No, you don't want to buy that little dog. If you really want him, I'll give him to you." And the little boy got upset. He looked straight into the man's eyes and said, "I don't want you to give him to me. He's worth every bit as much as the other dogs, and I'll pay the full price. In fact, I'll give you $2.37 now and 50 cents every month until I have him paid for." The man countered, "You really don't want to buy this puppy, son. He is never going to be able to run, jump, and play like the other puppies." And then the little boy reached down and rolled up his pant leg to reveal a badly twisted, crippled left leg supported by a big metal brace. He looked up at the store owner and said, "Well, I don't run so well myself. And that little puppy will need someone who understands." We all need someone who understands, don't we? And sometimes it feels like it's kind of hard to find someone who understands. Each of us has been through a variety of difficult circumstances in our lives. We went through them and we came out the other side. Sometimes a little better off for the experience, and sometimes a little worse off for the experience, but we survived. Now, when we are in the midst of the problem, when we're struggling, when we're suffering, when we're going through difficulties, trials, unfortunate circumstances, we seek out people who've been through it before us, don't we? It's one of the things that draws us together. There are all kinds of specialized groups out there that are designed just to do that. To pair you up with somebody who understands what you're going through. Why? Because they have gone through it themselves. I think about Alcoholics Anonymous. That's the whole premise, isn't it? Somebody that understands what you're going through. Somebody that can help hold you accountable. Somebody that can love you through the problem. Alcoholics Anonymous. One of the communities I served had a group for single moms. Boy, if you haven't been one, you can't imagine what it's like. And if you are a single mom, wouldn't you like to know a single mom that somehow managed to do it? It would be a comfort. It would be an encouragement to know there was someone out there who understood. Maybe you're a cancer survivor. There's people out there, maybe people in our own congregation that I don't know about, that are going through cancer right now. And boy, when you get that diagnosis, it's got to be scary. You have no idea what to expect. No understanding of what you're going to go through. No understanding of what the outcome's going to be. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have somebody who's been through cancer, who's come out the other side, who could walk with you, encourage you, because they understand, don't they? They understand what it is to go through that. Maybe some of you have a family member that's in the military. You're separated from a loved one because they're stationed somewhere in the world. That's hard to be on your own when you're used to relying on that person and they're gone for months, maybe years at a time. Wouldn't it be nice to find other people who have family members in the military that are away? They would truly understand what you're going through. One of my congregations, I had a woman who took care of her mother through Alzheimer's. Her mother had Alzheimer's, and Barb took care of her. And because of that experience, Barb started a group. It was a group for caretakers of Alzheimer's patients. People who were taking care of their parents or their husband or wife or someone that they loved. And if you've never had to take care of an Alzheimer patient, it's really, really hard. Getting through each day can be a serious struggle. And here were all these people in the same struggle that were meeting together each week. It had to be comforting them to know that there was somebody who understood. We have grief support groups in our community, often run by the hospital, sometimes run by churches. I've even seen some run by funeral homes. People that have lost loved ones. And if you haven't gone through that and you're going through it for the first time, it'd be awful nice to know someone who has gone through that. I've seen groups for surviving divorce. People that are newly divorced, it's kind of nice to know that somebody else survived that. set of circumstances. Jesus said, "As I have loved you, so you must love one another." Now here's the thing about it. Those terrible circumstances that we've gone through in our life, God can use for good. It's something that we need to be really thoughtful about. Each and every one of you has some unique experience in their life that somebody else is going through right now. And to be the very best Christian that you can be, you are there for that person in a way no one else can be, because you've been through that difficult circumstance yourself. You know, there's more to love than just being nice. We think, oh, we were nice to that person. We loved them. No. Love requires some kind of action, not just being nice. We are supposed to be giving ourselves in some way for someone else. And God has uniquely prepared you to do that. He has gifted you in some area for empathy. Because you understand. Because you have been through it. Our trials, good things can come from the trials that we've been through. Because God makes good of all things. A week ago Friday, I did a very brief funeral service at the Veterans Cemetery in Caribou. It was for Shelley's father-in-law. Shelley's mother-in-law is a fresh, brand new widow. A lot. As soon as our little service was over, Lana sought out Rhonda. At first, Rhonda said, "Why? Why would Lana come to me?" Lana wrapped her arms around Rhonda. Lana cried and cried and cried. You see, Lana sought out the one person in that crowd who had also lost a husband to death. Yeah. Because she knew of everyone that was there, Rhonda would understand. You understand what I'm talking about here? We need somebody who understands when we're going through a difficult time. Have you been divorced? Somebody's going through that right now. Reach out to them. Do you have a disease like diabetes? You know, somebody's going through that right now. And boy, would they love to hear from you, knowing that you have been through that same thing. Do you have a loved one in prison? There's people that have loved ones in prison, and it's a hard life without them. Boy, would they like to hear from you. Have you ever suffered abuse? Some of you here probably have. One of the common things in our society. You were touched inappropriately, or you were yelled at, or you heard a lot of negative messages growing up, or you may even have suffered abuse on the job. There's so many possibilities for that. And I can tell you there's people going through that right now that would love to hear from you. Have you ever lost a child? I'll tell you, somebody that's lost a child is lost. One of the things that I think hurts the most in life. I lost a grandchild. And it was after that experience that I realized I was doing a lot of funerals for children. In fact, I've done 7 funerals for children. I was at the funeral home. I was in the process of burying a child. People were waiting in line to express their sympathy to the parents. And one of the people waiting in line was a pastor, and he said, "I've been a pastor for 30 years. I've never had to bury a child. How do you do that?" I figured God gave me those funerals because I was uniquely prepared to understand. We all need understanding. Christ says, "All people will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." This is a way, folks, to love one another. Using our heartaches, using our trials, using our pain to have absolute sympathy for someone else. You know, a lot of people distrust Christians. Are you aware of that? They think, no, you can't be for real. Okay? You espouse all of this goodness and kindness and thoughtfulness and empathy, but you can't really do it, or you won't really do it. When I was in Germany as a young soldier in the Air Force, I did quite a bit of traveling. It was hard at night sometimes to find a place to sleep. Most villages had a Gasthaus, which is guest house. They were often restaurants or bars that had a few rooms upstairs that they would rent out for the night. And so I would go to one Gasthaus after another Gasthaus. Now, when you're in the military in Germany, in those days, I don't know anymore today, but you had a green license plate. It branded you as military. You didn't have any chance of blending in with the populace, even if you knew German, which I didn't. We had buzz cut hair, you know. Yeah, real hard to blend in the 70s when you have buzz cut hair. When I walked into the Gasthaus and looked for a room, they saw a 20-year-old buzz cut with green license plates, and everybody knows that American servicemen can't be trusted, and they would send me away. No rooms, no rooms. We carry that badge as Christians. Everybody knows Christians can't be trusted. So what do they see when they look at you? Do they see somebody who's really living out their faith, who's loving, encouraging, empathizing? Because each of you are uniquely prepared to do that. And I want you to know that when you do these things, people see Christ in you. That's what happens. People see Christ in you. And if you want to know what that's like, if you want to know what I'm talking about when I say they see Christ in you, maybe this is...
If you will just imagine with me, if I had the pleasure of bringing out Christ. This is just how I would do it. It ain't got to be the way you do it. You might not think it's just right, but this is how I would do it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce a man who needs no introduction. His credits are too long to list. He has done the impossible time after time. He hails out of a manger in Bethlehem, Jerusalem, by way of heaven. His mother is still headlining in the Catholic Church today. His daddy is the author of a book that has been on the bestseller list since the beginning of time. He holds the record for the world's greatest fish fry. He fed 5,000 hungry souls with 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread. He can walk on water, turn water into wine, no special effects, no camera tricks. He has a headshot on every church fan across the country. Even before the kings of comedy, he was hailed the king of all kings, ruler of the universe, Alpha and Omega, beginning and the end, the bright and the morning star. Some say he's the Rose of Sharon, and some say he's the Prince of Peace. Get up on your feet, put your hands together, and show your love for the second coming of the one and only. God has been good.
God is good. But there's people that don't know it. Wouldn't it be amazing if people saw Christ in you? And they will, if you use the trials, the difficulties that you've hurdled to help someone who's going through the same thing. God bless.